Great energy.
So pleased for this team. They competed here in their home nation last week, and they had real issues throughout the free dance. And amazing to see a week difference what a clean skate can do to the whole delivery of the presentation.
Yeah, it wasn't just a great program, but it was with joy. You can see last week was a little bit competitive, trying to compete with it, but this was just pure joy.
And total respect to them and the team, because it's a very bold, brave choice to mix together the Amelie music and the Eminem, I think, that they have with it. Such contrasting pieces, and when it wasn't a clean skate last week, it seemed hard to roll with, and yet here the delivery just
worked.
It really worked, and real testament to the foresight of the team. And as this program, I think, develops with more run-throughs as the season progresses, it could become something special. And the beginning of the program, Ted, with the Amelie, the gentle music, showcasing their good quality skating skills, and within this straight line lift, there was perfect musicality. You can almost, the arm movements from Sophia, you can almost hear the music because it was so crisp and obvious. And then it led to this wonderfully difficult entry into the 1 foot turns, and this too, the back inside counter, that was musically phrased as well. One
of the things that I like most about it is I find the partners equal. Like, one is not way stronger than the other. They are simply a team. They're a dance team that skate like one to a large degree.
And I think this is an example of a team that have come to get... We see a lot of junior dance teams we've seen on the Grand Prix series who are new formations of different experiences from other former partners. This looks like a team who have had the same tuition and training, and that's the reason why they match well.
Yeah.
Mistakes there within the twizzles, that still room for growth, but this was so wonderful. The choreographic sliding movement, and again, this too looks like a different team from last week within that.
It does. It totally does. Now, their season's best was 70.63. They'll beat that score here tonight for sure. Well, I shouldn't say for sure. But
and I think alongside their main coach, Sylvia Novak-Trubacka, I think Maxim Spadiriev, who competed for Poland successfully for so many years on the senior circuit as well, on the left of the screen. Teamwork.
Family. And just as that picture is, that's how they pulled this event off for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There's a unity amongst the people that are committed to skating here in Poland and to the Federation and to what they're delivering for the ISU and the rest of the world competitors who have come here, in some cases, for 2 weeks.
I think when you ask me one of my favorite moments of the Junior Grand Prix series, it's seeing a kiss and cry like that.
Yeah, it is also a beautiful kiss and cry. They've got the red chairs, the size, the nice backdrop, and
a happy team.
And I know you mean this people, but I was talking about the backdrop. I know what you're going for here. Let's take a look at the free dance scores for Sophia and Victor. Their season's best, 75.25. And they all go, okay, that's all right. That's good. That's first. Of course, at this stage of the competition with a 121.64, mission accomplished from week one, last week in the Junior Grand Prix to this week. Great strides have been made.
The third team to compete, just 14 and 17 years old, Mia Liemeyer and Tobias Huber.
15th after the rhythm dance. They'll skate to One Night in Bangkok and the story of chess.
Mia Maya and Tobias Huber from Germany complete their free dance. The third team taking to the ice.
Mark, at the 1 foot section of the top of the program, the turns were perfectly on. The music was really delightful. I don't know if the turns were clean or not. We have a level 1 for Mia Lee and the level 3 for Tobias. So there was maybe some turns that needed some work, but the timing was just beautiful.
And that testament to the coaches and choreography team behind it, ensuring that it is judge-friendly for a good grade of execution. We like judge-friendly.
And the entrance of the spin at the end of the program, so aggressive. They were in a sliding move, and he just yanked her around and got into the spin.
Yeah, using that as a difficult entry, trying to make that a level feature, and showcasing some real strength and attack. And this, the second team that we've seen on the Junior Grand Prix series using music from the musical chess. And they're the rocker. So we can see here, knowing that a level 3 was awarded to Tobias, we can see there back outside countered. Interesting choice of turns, not the more conventionally used sequence of turns. We see a lot of the time the couples use the same combinations of the turns to try to accrue the highest level. The choreographic character step sequence, and this year couples allowed a little bit more freedom with their bodies allowed to touch the ice.
There's so much pulling and yanking and back and forth in a dance team in order, like here, you can see that pulling around the corner. It gets a little bit too far forward on the blades, loses the speed and momentum, and has to push out into the rotational lift, combination lift, of course, stationary and rotational. And you loss of balance here as well a bit.
Yeah, and you can see there an insight into where there can be progression still, just a bit cleaner extension of the free legs in the position, although they both did an admirable job on what could have been a stationary lift that went down.
Yeah, no, it was a great save, great work.
It was a good save. And this team comes into the free dance. Their components in the rhythm dance were lower than the Polish team we've just seen. The Polish team had some more mistakes in the rhythm dance, so if they go below the Polish team, that would be...
Let's see. They would need a 75.06 to take the lead. And their free dance score is a 70.66. That's second, of course, in the free dance. And there were just some little mistakes along the way. For a total competition score of 117.25, that'll put Mia Mayer and Tobias Huber from Germany into second place.
The Austrian brother and sister team, 15-year-old Anita Straub and 18-year-old Andreas Straub.
14th after the rhythm dance, 74.55 is the personal best. You just need a 73.95 as they will skate to Hopelessly Devoted to You. You Are the One I Want, and Summer Nights from Greece.
What I
an incredible extension in the rotational lift in the split position for Anita Straub, who along with her brother laid down a much better free dance here than their Czech skate performance. And what great scenes to see the rapport between a brother and sister as they take their bow.
And as we talked about, the Junior Grand Prix provides an opportunity for that progress to be made from event to event. But there are different strategies from coaches. Sometimes they like them back to back. Sometimes they like them not to start the Junior Grand Prix until later, giving them more time coming off the summer schools, skating schools into the fall. So everyone has a little bit different strategy, but we clearly can see the improvement.
Yeah, so visible, so evident. And I suppose that, you know, all the disciplines are different. The ice dance discipline, where choreography less likely to be tweaked and jump elements not here to offer that unpredictability, the more consistency and a clean skate for the dancers, and that allows them to free up with the components. Little bit of a spin through the twizzle for Andreas, but here really good rocker. I thought deep edge, maybe scratched a little bit, but up pushing the turns within the 1 foot, maybe a little bit too much even, but a real visible attempt to go for clean callable turns. And you know, the Olivia Newton-John music from the soundtrack to Grease just presents such a great opportunity to showcase a storyline, and I thought they did that really well here. Looking through the step sequence, just get to look at the footwork, which the technical specialists will be doing. You see here the twizzle, and heading in now to their inside counters, and finally they do, I think, an outside closed mohawk. That's the last of the difficult turns that they were going for in the step sequence. And as we'll see with so many of the dance teams choosing of the choreographic elements, they have the option to choose use the choreographic character step sequence, and the reason for that because it offers such great chance to push the components as well in the element. And I was really mindful of that gorgeous extension, a couple of occasions there where we get to see Anita's beautiful foot extension. She's got lovely feet, lovely elegance in the leg line.
Free dance scores for Anita and Andreas, season's best, 76.00. You can see fist pump by Andreas. That's first in the free dance with a total competition score 123.70, and that will move him currently into first place. You're thrilled with that.
And they're now working also with Galina Chirilova, Ukrainian coach who's relocated to Austria given what's happening in the world, and she's really enhancing that team as well.
And there's a look at the start order for group number 2. Now, Mark, do you have any questions?
I've been so engrossed in the ice dancers that I'm not sure what's been coming through.
You've been distracted, have you?
Just by the wondrous skating. Actually, do you know what I am distracted by right now is photographs of you and I having an interview, and that was fun. That was a little bit daunting to be the subject of your... It wasn't quite grilling. But,
what? No, there was no grilling. It was maybe sauteing, but no grilling.
Is that why I feel warmer than I did before?
Exactly. A little sauce on you.
Fun and games. It's just been such fun, and as wonderful as technology is for us to be able to consider remote coverage, it's really exciting to be here with you. And
well, you'll be working next week, I think, at least for the first 2 days from your dining room table, not in if all the technology works well. And I'll be scoping out the stories in the Skaters Lounge, talking to the coaches and following up on the Mark Hanratty techniques of grilling people.
See, I said you're grilling me. It's only because that's what I would have done to you.
No, I watch very carefully, and I see that, you start a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and you get a lot of information. It's all good.
As I take my notepad out with me, I think I've actually elected no longer to take the notes with me. I think that intimidates people a little. They're less likely.
No kidding. You started on a nice conversation. So, how you doing? Nice to see you. Isn't it lovely to see you? By the way. Okay, and then you flip over the page.
What you got for me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but it is very nice to have some background information on the athletes and the coaches and what's been going on and in preparation for these events, and items that we would never know. I mean, we have a bio from the ISU, and there's a lot of skaters, so you can't know them all. But the more that we can gather, the better the storytelling can be. And of course, quite often speaking to them, it's just about the human stories. It's not about necessarily the technique or the approach to skating. It's really about their life.
And I remember when I was competing, maybe especially in ice dance, because you're forever trying to create an image of near perfection and just wonderful harmony between you and your partner and so much jollity that skaters are reluctant to give the real integrity behind the hard graft. And for many of the ice dance teams and the pair skaters as well, the obstacles they overcome just to get here, so many of the teams will be a formation of two different nationalities. They will be coming into their new dance partnerships perhaps with baggage from previous dance partnerships.
And two different families too, because it's much like a relationship where you hope the parents get along, right?
Oh my goodness. And for the coaches then to manage two sets of parents, both desperate for their child to be looked after, that's another challenge.
It is complicated. It's very, very complicated. Isn't there a movie called It's Complicated? No.
Actually, just right now, a tweet coming in from Sylvia. Were there any, or what were the funniest and most amusing moments you can share from your on-site commentating debut experience this year at Mark and Retty?
Ones we can tell or ones we can't tell?
I don't know about that. Probably the some of the funniest moments. Oh, I don't know what I can share with the world about the funniest
see,
moments.
that's the point. Anything,
maybe I'll give a direct message back to Sylvia with some of
no, don't do that.
No, don't put it out into the ether. I'd tell you a really heartwarming moment, not funny, but heartwarming moment today, discovering when chatting with Alma Moyer, coach of the couple currently in third place, to hear that the team that she's working with have been skating together for nearly a decade, and I think that isn't common on the junior circuit, and I think that's just wonderful to see as we get to see a little bit more of an audience in this final event. It's the weekend here in Gdansk, and you can see some spectators coming to view the proceedings, which is wonderful. And that's something that we've heard others note, Ted, that they appreciate having an audience. I was very conscious, obviously, that during the COVID time there weren't audiences in any skating competitions, and now that's trickling back. And
that's going to be very interesting through the year to see what happens with the Senior Grand Prix when you're trying to sell tickets. How well that will work. Will people feel comfortable? Will they come back to the rink? It is the start of a new 4-year cycle leading up to the next Olympic Games, of course, and and I think people feel a little bit more open and free to participate in events that hasn't happened over the past few years. So I think we're going to see audiences grow. I don't know how quickly we'll see them grow. Hopefully quickly. Because it makes a huge difference for the performances, of course.
Yeah, the audience can really boost the energetic commitment. Certainly the teammates have for the skaters here in Gdansk.
Group number 2 of 4 in the free dance final event here in Gdansk.
And the next team taking to the ice, representing Georgia, Grace Elizabeth Avainik and Yehor Barshak.
80.86, the personal best at the Riga Cup competition in the free dance. And they'll skate the free dance to build a home for the Cinematic Orchestra. You know, Mark, when I said the name of the music, To Build a Home, when I saw the opening pose and the look on Grace Elizabeth's face, you know, it's such a beautiful, beautiful song. And is the dance team able to portray that journey of a young couple building a home? And I felt they did a really good job. Sure, skating skills, if you want to look at things technically, it's a different issue. But were they able to tell that story? I kind of felt that sincerity and that connection.
Well, this piece of music is used regularly now, and it was first brought, I think, to the attention of the ice dance world when Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron used To Build a Home, and that in the season when they'd moved from their homes in France to Montreal. This couple had been skating for just a matter of a few months. They were born 5,000 miles apart, and now Yehor Barshak training in the States with Grace Elizabeth. Only been skating together for a matter of months, and so the story To Build a Home really pertinent to them. And Pasquale Carmelengo picked the music and said how he thinks of them every time that he saw them skate, and I just think that really enriches this story. Now, judges don't necessarily know that story. They don't need to know that story. It's lovely for us to know it when we watch them, but I think their movement showcased it.
Well, you brought up a good point. I've always felt, okay, now it's a personal opinion, okay, which I really rarely give on this type of show, but I always felt that the judges, not just the judges, the audience, everybody should know, is there a story behind your program, and can you tell it in a sentence or two or whatever? So at least the audience would understand what the story is about, because sometimes it might be a part of an opera, or it could be part of a piece that no one's ever heard before, or something that you've just created to a nice piece of music and you want them to enjoy it that much more. But nobody knows. You're just guessing. So
I completely agree. And arguably, the skaters should make it visibly evident in their movement, the story, but that's not always easy to do, especially if you pick a piece of music that's abstract or unknown. But I think
like I'm creating an apple, like a piece of art.
Don't you get my clump?
Yeah, exactly. So I always felt that it would be way more engaging for the audience to know, okay, well, let's see if I can see the story, right? But if you're asking them to guess it, good luck, right? unless it's called To Build a Home, right? Let's take a look at the free dance scores for Grace Elizabeth and Yehor. 77.86, that's first in the free dance so far. With a total competition score of 128.03 as they take over the lead for the moment.
Przed Państwem reprezentanci Francji. On the ice representing France, Lukasz and Ivan Melnik.
The first of two French teams competing back-to-back. There's 15-year-old Lukasz and 16-year-old Ivan Melnik.
And 71.09, their personal best. They'll need a 77.74 to take the lead, so certainly absolutely within their realm as they will skate the free dance to Swan Lake, a remix. Great pickup on that lift right at the end. That was like a surprise.
Absolutely amazing, and the difficult entry onto their stationary lift. And as we near the end of the Junior Grand Prix series, and I cast my mind back, the choreographic character step sequence from this ice dance team is one of the most memorable pieces for me. I absolutely love the quirkiness, the musicality, the staccato sharpness. So good to see.
Sort of a takeoff, you know. It's playful.
Brilliant. And so much time is obviously gone into that as they're greeted by Tiffany Zagorski, the brilliant ice dancer who's working with them here. A shame. Ivan obviously had a fall to the latter stages of the program, and that paved the way for some bad
and some shakiness near the end as well. You can see that just a little bit off, but an
interesting dynamic. Lou she's an incredible skater. You can see the epic commitment to her free legs and sharpness through her body. She was so delivered on the interpretation as well, and just in the relatively early stages of development, it's managing that dynamic between the team. Great changes of position, great ice covers through the rotational lift. Interesting, you can see Fabien Bourzat, the coach of the French team, yet to come, keeping his eye on the proceedings for the competitors. Just off camera there now. This is a shame we can't relive the musicality of it, because it was such fun, and you can see different dynamics and their energy within it here.
It's a real piece or part of the program where you can capture the judges emotionally maybe a little bit more, because you're coming right at them and they see such detail. Of course they're evaluating it and whatnot, but it's a more playful part.
Yes. Just great work. This was the brilliant difficult entry, and now shortly the 1 foot. I don't think he managed to sustain that for the time that he wanted, and that was where you could see Ivan's legs just going a little bit at the end. There. Coach Karine Arribert, we've seen her on the Junior Grand Prix at many of the events. Great to have somebody like Tiffany Zagorski stepping in to help and support here. They are fortunate skaters to have that quality of influence supporting them and educating them.
Yeah, we've talked about the work of Karine Arribert. You know, is doing such a nice job for not just this season, numerous seasons, but we've seen some really creative and innovative work come out of that camp.
And I think many of the dance teams exploiting some of the new criteria this year as with every year, the Ice Dance Technical Committee releasing little changes and tweaks to the requirements for the free dance, and fun to see skaters exploiting it and playing with it and embracing some of the choreographic elements as well.
Well, out of the 8 elements, 4 were under review. It's all cleaned up now. 71.09, their season's best. I think they're going to beat that right now with a 75.68 season's best for Lou and Yerevan. That's third in the free dance with a total competition score of 125.98, and that will put them currently into second place overall.
They're currently in second place.
We look ahead now to the next French team, and therein lies a competition within the competition as the two 19-year-olds take place, Lina Maya Seclet-Monchot and Martin Chardin.
71.03 was their personal best. 77.19, they need that, but their personal best was from last season. They have not done as well yet in this season. They'll look to do that right now as they skate to the Queen's Gambit.
Everybody just really hoping that the team is okay. a horrible fall towards the end of the program in the rotational lift. Longchamp and Chardin, and I think great to see Yerevan supporting Martin here now. It was a horrible fall at the end. I'm not quite sure.
And, you know, maybe it's a lot of shock of what happens. We talk often about the risk in pair skating, but when you see the agility and quickness and speed in which these skaters do the dance lifts, it's also extremely dangerous and risky. And we've not seen a fall like that really on the Junior Grand Prix in ice dance. I don't think this season, I don't remember one really for years.
And as the couples,
this was a nice program. They did a beautiful program up to that point.
The couples have option for so many different features within the lifts, and everybody trying to do increasingly athletic choices.
Look at that spin. I just had to mention that. Look at that beautiful camel spin.
Really stunning position.
Just amazing. Beautiful speed, wonderful positions. It's in level 4 with 1.05 GOEs, so the judges certainly added points to the quality to the GOE score. As we take a look at the nice deep edges, and as they enter the twizzles, they're in at a level 4 for each skater as well.
And this team, I'm sure, will have come into the free dance very conscious of the desire to be the higher ranked French team. This was great. I love the difficult entry, and that unique. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it was unique, absolutely.
And that's impressive to take the different options that the teams have to get their level features, to take something and make it their own. Really impressive, and I'm sure they will have been wanting, as I say, to become the top French team here. Céline Fragy and Jean-Jean Fourneau were top 10 at Junior Worlds last year, so there'll be 2 spots for French ice dance teams in the Junior World Championships, and events like this will help towards the French Federation deciding who will be the second team going.
They look to be okay. They'll be checked out when they lead the kiss and cry.
Just everybody wishing their very best to the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Season's best at 69.88. That's 6th in the free dance. With a total competition score 120.75, and that'll put Lilamea and Martin in 5th place overall for the moment.
On the ice, representing Czech Republic,
We look ahead now to another brother and sister team who need to take a big deep breath and change the energy in the arena. Natalie Blasova and Philip Blas.
Skating to Earth Song, A Place with No Name and Bad by Michael Jackson. Well, skating to Michael Jackson's always fun. It's challenging as well because, you know, there's certain expectations for the type of dance or quickness that you want to see, but it's always fun to watch and listen to.
Yeah, now in this free dance competition here at the Baltic Cup, we've had the Beatles, we've had music from Greece, we've had Swan Lake, now Michael Jackson. Wonderful that the ice dance competitors, they don't confer over their music choices for this season, but wonderful to realize that they're all choosing such different styles and choices and options to listen to and use.
Yeah, and as we've often talked about, Mark, the coaches use the strategies to build, versatility. So, okay, this year you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, in order for them to build a repertoire of which they're good at when they enter seniors.
And Michael Jackson, contrast to the tango rhythm dance. So it's definite. Yeah. I think in the free dance this year, because the tangos and the rhythm dance that are required for the juniors are pretty intense, then we're getting a little bit more joviality, jovial vibes for the free dances.
Yeah.
As we look at the 1 foot turns.
And they're in at level 2 for Natalie and level 1 for Philip.
And here the synchronized twizzles, whereby the teams must connect, they must touch, unlike in the rhythm dance. You can see the separation between the team here, forcing the judges to go down on the grade of execution a little bit. This is cool. I really like this. Stationary lift.
Yeah, and not easy for her to place her blade on his foot while she's flipping over.
Yeah, and to find it. I took this clip because you can see their coach, I think it's Karolina Prochaskova, in the back of shot, and this just gives you an indication as she counts the rotations. You can see her counting the rotations, hands clasped. The coaches are so invested, and that's really nice shot to see that.
Yeah, and the coach approval at the end.
And what is a Michael Jackson program without a bit of moonwalking? It's a tight competition, Ted, already.
Yeah.
In just the second group.
Free dance scores for Natalie and Philip, 77.76. That's second in the free program so far in the competition. And a total competition score of 129.31, and that will put Natalie and Philip currently into first place overall after the first two groups. Two more to come. And now, as tradition has it, Movie Man will be telling you about what you're going to watch during the ice resurfacing.
Yeah, Mark? The final ice resurface.
The final
one. And we can look at the interview with the winners of the pairs competition. Yesterday's champions, Australians Anastasia Volyubeva and Hector Giotopoulos-Moore. Before then, the ISU Elements Explained series continues, and a look at the layback spin, and then a final video with a chance to check in with a short track and the documentary teaser there.
We'll take our last tea break here.
Yes.
And we hope you enjoy the videos. We'll be back right after this. Here in Gdansk with the pairs champions at the Baltic Cup, Anastasia Gulubeva and Hector Giotopoulos Moore for a second time in 2 weeks. What a pleasure to interview you one more time. Now, let's talk a little bit about this program, your feelings about this program this week compared to last week. First for you, Hector.
I mean, it felt a little bit harder this week. It wasn't as good as last week, of course. I mean, we had 2 falls in the program, not super happy about it, but you know, it happens to everybody in skating, and lots of work ahead of us now to try and make sure we skate cleaner next time.
This was a strong field. There was a lot of good teams here. Did that make you a little bit more nervous?
Yeah, I'm nervous today. I'm not happy, but I'm skate. My performance not happy. I will skate much better, but now I know what I need working. And in the final, I show my maximum.
Well, now, where do you go from here? You've been here for 2 weeks. Are you staying here in Europe? What happens?
Yeah, we're going to be staying in Poland. We're going to be going to a small town in Poland actually called Torino. We're going to be training there for about 1 month, and then we're competing in Warsaw Cup in Warsaw, and then from there we'll be going home for nationals.
And then you come all the way back for the final.
Yeah.
That is a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be 1,000 flights and trains and everything.
Well, congratulations on your second gold medal on the Junior Grand Prix. You've qualified for the Junior Grand Prix final. That'll be brilliant. Hope to see you. Well, we will see you there. Wonder whether we'll be doing this again. We'll see. You know, keep working hard to clean up those little mistakes that you had. But just brilliant, brilliant work. Thank you so much for all the wonderful pair skating that you're doing for the country of Australia and really for the Junior Grand Prix world as well. Yeah, you're very welcome. The champions here at the Baltic Cup in Paris.
Hello, I'm Fang Dan from the ICU Beijing Center of Excellence. I'm the ICU judge and international singles technical controller. Today we are learning the layback spin. There are 2 positions for the layback spin. Backwards and sideways. Before learning the backwards position, the skater can stand facing to the rink board, keep the skating leg straight and the free leg stretching outward. Meanwhile, keep the hip joint close to the board. Then, the skater can practice the external rotation in your hip joint, but remember to keep your head upright. These moves could help the skater find a better center of rotation and avoid the skater fear after raising their heads. Now, let's see the skater's demonstration. For the sideway position, at the beginning, the skater can stand against the rink board, while keeping the back and head close to the board, and do external hip rotation. Then, the skater can practice the standing position of sideway layback spin without any support. Now, let's see the skater's demonstration. That's all for today. See you next time. Bye-bye.
The following couples may now take the ice for a 5 minutes warm-up. From the United States of America, Helena Carhart and Volodymyr Horovich. From Cyprus, Angelina Kudryavtseva and Ilya Karankiewicz. From the United States of America,
The final ice resurface of the Baltic Cup complete, and 4 more ice dance teams take to the ice. And it's been incredibly tight in the rhythm dance, with really close scores from 9th place. Helena Carhart and Volodymyr Horovich up to 3rd place. Jordan Luce and Noah McMillan, just 3 points. Just over 3 points separate the teams, so makes for an exciting free dance, and it's everybody's jostling for a good result.
And Mark, you did a little bit of reconnaissance or check-up on the French team.
Yes, happy to report that Martin Chardin, the French ice dancer who had a really nasty fall in the rotation lift at the end of their free dance, appears to be okay. The medics are checking him over. They've deemed that he doesn't need to go to hospital just yet. They're just going to keep an eye on the situation and keep reviewing how he's feeling. But our very best wishes go to him and his partner. It's physically not optimal at all to have had such a horrible fall, but obviously that too will have some repercussions on their emotional and mental brain space as they compete on in the rest of the season, and we just send our positive vibes that they'll recover from this and bounce back really strongly.
Oh, they had a great program going. They're solid teams, so I mean, things like that happen periodically. I don't worry about certainly that in the future, but you know, there's always a little bit of nervousness maybe going into that element for a while, but they'll get over it. They're strong people, strong competitors. Now, Mark, there was a question here for you.
Oh, from me?
Yeah. What was it like filming Freeze? And by the way, I don't even know what is Freeze. Was it a movie?
So Freeze was a documentary that the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, did a docu-series following the lives of competitive figure skaters, and it was actually the team Blast Films did an incredible job in following the lives of competitive skaters, and it wasn't the Olympic champions that they were following, they were just following competitive skaters from
like this,
all levels. Yes, absolutely, and they just did a brilliant job in showing the trials and tribulations of competing at elite sport and our sport, and they just did a magnificent job.
What role did you play?
So they just followed me as doing my work as a coach and choreographer, so they saw me. I think some of the scenes that I was shot in were seeing a dance team being formed, so I was teaching skater Billy Wilson French, and he was looking for a dance partner, the hunt for a dance partner, which is a really big hunt part.
Okay.
Yeah,
the search. I think it's called the search.
There's me and my vocabulary choice again. It feels like a hunt sometimes. But yeah, the search, as you rightly point, for a dance partner, and that happening through COVID as well, which made it even more challenging. And then actually there's some comedy scenes on this.
In your center stage or what?
Yeah, of course. Being caught out, there's some comedy scenes of me working some choreography and my crazy noises. And I actually think that the noises that I articulate when choreographing programs, that is standard procedure for most choreographers. It might not be, but in my head,
you might have to define the word noises. So
I can't. It comes spontaneously. I can't.
Oh, okay.
I can't bring it out.
Yeah. Okay, so now I know what film is. That's good. Okay.
Yes.
Well, you're a pretty famous guy, that's for sure.
Just I don't know. I don't know about that.
And then, how might the ISU attract more men to the ice dance? But really, it's up to the federations and the coaches to do that. I mean, I think, seminars and promotion via things like this, the ISU Junior Grand Prix and some of the videos that we show, but really it's the federations and the local clubs and the coaches who are left to promote the sport of figure skating, number one, and then as a young man gets involved in skating and enjoys it, channeling them into the discipline which most matches their personality and their ability. That is not done. I mean, generally, because the coach's living is off of that, and so sometimes doing the right thing for that student might be in a dance or pairs, but if you don't teach that, you might not encourage that like you should.
Which is understandable understandable, right or wrong, it's understandable. I think the participation of more men in this sport is an interesting one, and it's aided when there is competitive success on an international level, and so it's a little bit of a chicken and egg situation, which comes first. But if you can get a breakaway star from your nation, then it incites interest, and interest increases participation.
And it has grown. I mean, I must say, like, since I skated, it has grown a lot. So there's been some progress made, but we'd always like to see more help to support the disciplines of pair dance and synchronized skating. And here we go.
So we've seen the domestic competition between two French ice dance teams, and this is the start of a competition between two American teams, with the first of them being Helena Carhart and Vladimir Horokhi.
85.15, their personal best. They just need a 73.67 to take the lead, as they will skate a long way down in Another Love by Tom O'Dell. Mark, I love the upper body commitment to all the choreography that was presented Just beautiful. I felt the emotion of the music was communicated through the emotion of the movement. I really felt it connected, for the most part throughout the program. Your feeling?
I agree, and I saw this team in practice this morning, and it's hard to replicate that level of emotional integrity in the morning practice, knowing you have a long wait till you perform. But it sang out in practice this morning and totally did there again today. And this team competed last week, and it's a high adrenaline energy level to compete week on week, and it just looked like Volodymyr in particular was ready to release all the emotion in the Another Love Tomodel free dance.
Yeah, you felt it was real.
Yeah.
And that is everything in trying to communicate a program and its meaning.
Real integrity to it.
Nice, beautiful.
And here we look at the 1 foot turns and the speed and ice coverage they have coming into this, a demonstration of stronger skating skills than any we've seen so far. And the back inside twizzle to complete. Still a team that's yet to match up completely stylistically in their approach, but
I love that pick up into the lift and then into the straight line, into the rotational lift.
And this couple choosing to do a combination lift. Teams and juniors have the option of one combination lift or two short lifts. And this, I cut this, you can just see the intensity there is amazing. Really utterly committed. And
if you are at the end of this program, as emotionally fatigued as you are physically, then you've done it.
And as we look towards the synchronized twizzles, this is the team that had the mistakes and the twizzles in the rhythm dance and the collision with the barrier, and so the twizzles here were late in the program, so I was a little worried for them, but got through. Happier scenes after their free dance.
That was a lovely way to finish the 2 weeks here in Gdansk. 84.45, that's first in the free dance. And so far with a total competition score of 140.10, and that'll put Elena and Volodymyr into first place overall. With 10 teams to come.
Well, fascinating story here. 1960 are the numbers on the shirts of the Cypriot team, and it's 1960 when Cyprus was granted independence. Angelina Kudryavtseva and Ilya Karankacevic.
And they'll skate the free dance to It's Tricky and How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees, and get ready for this by Too Limited. That's hilarious. That was great. I was sort of waiting for that special moment. It was all nice. It was very good dancing, but it came at the end there. It was great.
Yeah, and in practice this morning, it just was so impressive. I think given a full free dance run through, so 3.5 minutes here, which they didn't have to do in the practice this morning, a little harder to keep the energy, but what an epic choreographic character step sequence. And I'd be fascinated to see the grades of execution that the judges give that, because unique for sure, creative absolutely, and committed. Yeah.
And see some pretty good PC scores coming in for composition.
Oh, great to see. Well done. And it's not a choice of music. Get ready for this. Isn't necessarily what you would say is a fail-safe piece to keep a full judging community happy.
That's true. Well said.
But the judges
safely said.
Judges look like they're going for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they took the bait. At the end, though, I think they were still undecided. Some nice moves here.
A little bit of reservation. And this team, who were top 10 at Junior World Championship, starting their Junior Grand Prix series later than all the others. So for them, it's a different stage of the season than we've seen from, I think, virtually all the competitors. Little movements like that, which the camera angle didn't necessarily do it justice, but there were lots of little moments within.
There was a lot of, this is maybe a program that might require a little bit more conditioning.
Yes.
Because it's high energy through most of the program.
And I feel like they conserved it, rightly so, for the end to deliver, and the deliver they did. Maybe in this section on How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees, that was maybe the section that suffered because they were conserving.
It did, yeah.
But here, look how many people are in the back, people coming out, and you can see other coaches can't help but smile at the commitment to this. And look at this. The Philippe Candeloro knee spin.
Barely got up off that.
Yeah. And I knew what was coming, having seen it in practice, and yet it still made me smile. And the 1960, the numbers that I mentioned when Cyprus was given independence, interesting, they're putting a message across here as well. And choreographic lift at the end, another creative piece.
Great job. That's why, when people say, well, which discipline do you like? I don't know what. I like them all. This tends to be a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. Can't help but smile with a performance like that, for sure. So it'd be interesting to see how this team fits into the mix. We've seen so many great teams on the ice dance competition in juniors as they are with. I think they've got to switch their seats, so we get the 1960 in the right order there. Yeah, we have to let them know. Yeah. Alexei Sitnikov, he was 6th at the European Championships, 12th at Olympics in 2014, so he knows what's necessary for success. And it looks like the team behind it, a brave, bold choice to go for something like that. That takes. And interesting, that team trains in the off season in Dubai. Wow, nice place 12 hours a week in Dubai for summer training. Summer, pretty much year round. Yeah. Okay, here are the free dance scores for Angelina and Ilya. 87.49. That's first in the free dance. Angelina is saying, okay, that's pretty good. That's not bad. 143.24. And that will put Angelina and Ilya from Cyprus currently into first place.
Przywitamy reprezentantów Stanów Zjednoczonych. On the ice representing the United States of America.
The second of the two American ice dance teams competing here in Gdansk. Liliana Peel and her brother Ethan Peel.
Well, 81.29, the personal best. You need just an 86.70 to take the lead as they skate to the soundtrack of Hello.
session. In fact, I'm counting on it. When I'm still in the dark. But you give people hope. And I will always be with you. I see this as a new beginning.
Eliana Peel and Ethan Peel, another brother and sister team competing here in Gdansk. And what a delight it is to see another improvement upon the team who competing here in their second Junior Grand Prix assignment of the series.
Well, you know, Mark, I found myself watching this performance, not analyzing the performance, because they brought me into it. And I sort of woke up at part of it and said, wow, you're not writing notes. Just because I just wanted to enjoy it. Well, because I got inside of it.
That's got to be a wonderful testament to their delivery, to be able to transcend your thoughts and take you in. That's really impressive.
Yeah. Solid performance, dramatic and powerful and different.
You're very, very different. And interestingly, that's something that the team mentioned when I asked them, you know, anything that you want us to express about your performance. And they just said that they hope that their programs and the ideas this year can expand what people traditionally conceive of ice dancing to be, and that they have a lot of fun performing them. And the theme for their free dance is based upon a television program that they enjoy. I think it's a robot coming to life. It's quite abstract in its delivery, but they're really invested in it. And
yeah, you see, and that is good. Just in that one sentence you said about what the theme of that is, that makes it that much more enjoyable because you understand that. We're getting that after the fact, but I'm looking at that and going, okay, I don't know if this is a movie, it's a series, or you know exactly what it is. We got blue lips there. We got lots of things going on, but not sure what it's about. And so my question goes back to, would we better to know after or better to know during or before? Sorry.
Well, I suppose that if they...
Or better never to know.
At least it's convincing if it works afterwards. And interesting, this team chose to do the choreographic twizzling movement. That one of the choices. Very rarely do we see that. And their father there, Robert Peel, joins them in the kiss and cry, and you can just see a sense of relief now. They said how grateful they are to US Figure Skating and the ISU for creating these opportunities for them to do what they love and do it across the world. I couldn't do what Robert Peel is doing and creating an ice dance team that comprises of your children.
Ooh. Yeah, no, that would be a journey. I was looking for a word. I'm going, no, go safe.
Yeah, a multifaceted journey, I'm sure, with lots of twists and turns.
Yeah.
But here, a happy ending here. Well, not the end for these guys, but a happy juncture.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the free dance score. Season's best, 85.32. But that's second in the free dance so far. with a total score for the event, 141.87, and that will put Liana and Ethan currently into second place. 7 teams to come.
Przywitajmy reprezentantów Włoch on the ice representing Italy, Maria Tali and Stefano Frasca.
Like the Cypriot team, another ice dance couple in their first Junior Grand Prix of the year. This Italy's Noemi Mariatali and Stefano Frasca.
Well, their season's best, or personal best, was 77.71. They'll need to climb up to an 86 to take the lead, and they'll skate the free dance to Vivaldi, the Four Seasons, and the Storm.
Noemi Mariatali and Stefano Frasca from Italy complete their free dance here in Gdansk. Interesting. We're seeing Vivaldi again. We saw it from the silver medalists at last week's competition, Phoebe Becker and James Hernandez. And that providing...
Well, it has such a sort of swirling type of feel to it. And as you cover the ice and, you know, there was a nice connection with the music here. It's beautiful music. You can't ignore that, that's for sure. But it's been used a lot. It's one of those pieces that, you know, can you make it new? Can you make it yours? And that's always the challenge, of course.
And interesting to use some remixed versions of it to give it a little bit more life and energy as they're greeted by their coach, Walter Rizzo, as they come off the ice. And as we've discussed, the teams are so tightly matched after the rhythm dance with such proximity in scores. And this team had lower component scores than the previous two teams who have already skated in the free dance. In the rhythm dance, it's going to be interesting to see how the judges perceive them in comparison to one another now with more elements. And this was brilliant phrasing on the change in the music for the Twizzles. And you can hear see good free leg extension, pointed toes in the Twizzles. And the musicality continued through the 1 foot. There, the outside rocker, back 3 turn, forwards inside bracket, changing edge. And there, the double twizzle with arm movements in sync with music. Oh, this.
Yeah, that lift, that pickup on the lift, that is not easy. Physically, whoa, he had to really press against her hips to hold her.
And I think I have to acknowledge some honesty here. I think I remember seeing that last year and adding that to my things to try. That is just something, the kind of lift that...
Wait a minute, you said you saw it?
I saw it last year in the Junior Grand Prix and thought, I've got to try that. Oh. Yeah, I've given that a bash. Based on seeing it from this team.
With who will you try that?
Well,
because that's not easy.
Yeah, some poor unfortunate soul doesn't know what's happening. But that's great to see something that's, you know, original movement. I think actually now I've seen that a couple of times, but great to see the team choosing difficult features.
Yeah, there they go.
He did it.
All right.
Oh, thank you. We asked him to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. Let's take a look at the free dance scores.
What influence you have, Ted?
83.48 for Noemi, Marie, and Stefano, fourth in the free dance, with a total competition score of 140.72. And this will put them into third place at the conclusion of group number 3, with 5 teams yet to skate.
He's doing it good. Thank you, Walter.
Character. What a character.
Brilliant.
So the final group takes to the ice. And it is going to be exciting because they're all really good teams. Points are up.
I saw some of the skaters who have finished their competition. Great to see some of the single skaters and the pair skaters here to support this final competition. And I did say you will be on camera, and we urge and expect insane levels of support. And it sounds like they are taking that to a whole new level.
Absolutely. No new questions, and we're done for the weekend, so we have been instructed that we will have to babble along for the final warm-up group. We do that well.
We can babble, yeah, that's no hardship for us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mark, as we start to prepare for the end of this event, once again, we want to thank the Polish Federation and also the ISU for all the hard work in absorbing. Oh boy, there's a lot of yelps in all these warm-ups of the ice dance. For absorbing the Yerevan competition as it was canceled. It was a huge undertaking for both the ISU and the Polish Federation. Just wonderful work. We thank everyone on behalf of the skaters and the coaches and the parents and everyone that was able to get here to compete.
And I think I remember that for the skaters and the coaches, you're so consumed with your own job in hand to prepare and do your best on the ice. You sometimes forget all that goes on behind the scenes. It's easy to forget, or easy to be unaware of all that goes on behind the scenes to facilitate these competitions happening. And you know, we, the skaters, you know, we're so fixated on, oh, what do the judges think and how am I perceived? But just the opportunity to compete in front of a judging panel of this prestigious level is quite amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. We do, again, we want to thank the officials as well. And the coaches for their contributions not only to these young people as skaters, but really as people. You know, they help bring them up to a certain degree, and they do a wonderful job in protecting them as they move through those very tender years in a sport that you have to be out there by yourself.
Yes.
So
examples of, the coach of the leaders after the rhythm dance, Yuris Raskalaev, he's here. He was here last week, and putting their lives on hold, their businesses on hold, to support these elite athletes. And I'm sure it's incredibly exciting, but still, it's a huge, life commitment.
Exciting? Did you mean stressful?
Well, that too.
You gotta choose those words. No, I'm just kidding.
Only exciting when it goes well.
Yeah, exactly. And Mark, I want to thank you for, it's really an outstanding job. Now, you're going to be going home tomorrow at about 3 in the morning, really, but
yep.
And spending some time with your family, and then you'll rejoin us in Egna, but remotely. We hope that's all going to work out well. I'll move on to Egna, and you'll join us for the first 2 days of coverage. So we're looking forward to that. But just in person, I want to thank you for really a wonderful job and being prepared. And really understand what the Junior Grand Prix is about. This is not just an event you come and just commentate and give your opinions about. It is a bigger family with a bigger cause, and we're on a big mission here to help develop the sport worldwide and help to support these young people as they progress into adults and, as they move into the seniors, which is a little bit more edgy, I'll put it that way. And you've done just such an outstanding job, and it's been a great pleasure to work with you.
That's very kind. Thank you for welcoming me so incredibly, and thank goodness we both got on all right, because we have spent
it's a script. I had to read it. I was supposed to read it. It's not really what I think.
The Einstein you wrote it.
Yeah.
Get it out. Read it out.
No problem. Yeah.
I definitely seen more of you, Mr. Ted Barton, or have chatted to you more over the last few weeks than I have.
It's fun. I feel like I've known you for a long time.
We both probably
because it's been exhausting. There's the look at the Canadian team there, all dressed up in the hats and the flags, and firmly, it's a big part of that program in Canada right now is to build team, and team, because the team fuels each other and help each other, and I think it's very, very important. I know other federations do that as well.
And I think Nadia Bashinska on your screen now, looking elegant as she covers ice with great skating. She was team leader. She was explaining to us that she was assigned the role as.
And her grandparents took the train here, are watching tonight in the building. They took the train from Ukraine to Gdansk to watch their granddaughter skate. Her father is here as well. Special moment. She had a Ukrainian dress on the other day, wearing that, which was brought by her grandparents. She wore that all day, and just a wonderful story that is.
Truly is. Somewhere
so she's
in there.
Skating for family as well.
Yeah, somewhere in that audience. Yeah. Her family members who she hasn't seen for literally years.
Yeah, I think 2 years. And so that was just a special moment. And it will be an emotional performance, I'm most certain, for both Nadia and Peter and the family, and both families. And here we go. The final 5 teams. Medals and points are at stake.
And the first team to compete after the final warm-up, the Ukraine's Irina Pegena and Artem Koval.
Well, 82.58, their personal best. They're going to need an 85.58 to take the lead. They'll skate to Moonlight Sonata and Mother's Journey.
Some movement in the free dance of Irina Pergena and Artem Koval that was just so impressive just before the Twizzles. Transitional content that we need to see again.
And you can see Irina, she was really pumped at the end of the program. For them, that was an inspired skate.
And this, a team who trained with Pinchuk and Pogorelov, who were third in Riga, and these skaters eager to close the gap between the medalists like their teammates have done. They had a bit of a costume malfunction when his blade got caught in her dress this morning in practice, so relieved nothing like that here, and impressed they've delivered again.
A nice clean skate, and their best is 82.58, and looking to top that here. They have such power and speed. What a unique entry and lift itself. The rotation of that position is, I haven't seen that before.
It's interesting. I remember seeing people posting it online on social media afterwards, just acknowledging to see again unique novelty. It's not easy to find something unique. This, their choreographic sliding movement as well.
Just when you think everything has been done, it hasn't.
Whoa, that's like so cool.
Oh yeah, it's like tying a knot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
very unique.
Shout out to, again, their coach Galina Churilova, who is consistently on the scene producing Ukrainian teams. She's been unassuming,
doing
just
that
consistent
for so many years and doing such a wonderful job.
And continuing to do that, even having had to relocate to Vienna.
Well, season's best at 86.77. However, at the moment, that's second in the free dance with a total competition score of 144.44, and that will put Irina and Artem currently into first place. 4 teams to come.
Yeah, well done. Proudly showing their jackets. Canada's Shema Ben Khalifa and Everest Zhu are next to skate.
81.52, their personal best week 1 in Courchevel. They're going to need an 86.25 to take the lead. They'll skate to Stop Crying Your Heart Out, and composition by Carl Hugo.
Good on Everest. Just making sure that he unites the team again. In practice this morning, they circled the rink, and I saw them deep in conversation. You can tell that they have a really good bond, and that cemented with the way that they're reacting to the disappointment of the curved lift in their free dance here.
Yeah, and you can see Chema, you know, maybe she's blaming herself, but it was on a lift, so lots of things were going on, and her blade just slipped off his thigh, and he did a good job to protect her, be safe. That's the number one thing, and take that lift down very carefully.
Love and the respect.
Give Everest a lot of credit in doing that. It's not about the competition at that point. Just be safe.
And now the job of their coach, Sean Winter, to help the team to cope with that. It happens. It's horrible. And a lift is a lift when it's off the ice and sustained for 3 seconds, so it'll come in at level 1. But the implications of not getting their features and a negative GOE, likely that the team probably loses about 4 or 5 points compared to had it been the success that it probably every day is in practice for them.
Yeah, for sure. Really nice opening spin in the level 4 with a nice healthy GOE. And Chema had such a nice feel and comfort on the ice with a nice smile. They looked calm. They had some nice deep edges like right here.
Yeah, as you say, she just exudes performance factor, constant commitment to it. And as we look at this, their diagonal step sequence, the couple will be fixated on trying to get the likes of that rocker and that bracket for Shema called cleanly, and yet you wouldn't sense that in her delivery with the facial expression. Same for Everest.
No, and I think that's why, one of the reasons why she felt so disappointed at the end, because the program was going really well. She was enjoying it. They both were.
Yeah.
And then the mistake comes right at the end. And here it is. You can see right there the left foot slip off the thigh, and he was just careful.
And it's
Everest just taking his time to set her back to the ice safely.
It's so difficult to know what to do. Do you try and fight for another feature? Do you try and go for something else? He did the right job, keeping the team
safety
safe.
Always.
So I think definite progress and improvement since their first Junior Grand Prix in Courchevel for sure. Just not the skate that they wanted. What's most wonderful though is the connection and the respect that they appear to have for each other. That isn't. That's not always the case for ice dance teams.
No. And it's just processing this now and keeping it, putting it in perspective that is a team, and one person makes a mistake. Who I don't even know how did that happen. It wasn't about her. It was just a mistake that happened to the team in the lift. So, but it's very difficult. You can say that logically because we're not emotionally engaged in that, and they are, and so they'll go through all sorts of different feelings.
And now, after the disappointment, it's processing the disappointment, the frustration, maybe being sad, maybe being angry, and then getting back to training, seeing Canadian nationals in the and just resting down and pushing forward to make big strides and improvement.
This is going to make them better. They don't know that right now because it feels bad, but this will make them better. It'll make them sharper, more attentive. 80.81, that's sixth in the free dance for Chema and Everest. With a total competition score of 139.01, and that'll put Chema Ben Khalifa and Everest Zhu into sixth place.
And we look ahead now to the next Canadian team. They've been together for 9-10 years already at this stage. 18 years old, both for Jordan Lewis and Noah McMillan.
80.59, their personal best. They're going to need to climb up to an 85 to take the lead as they will skate to There Will Be Time. Wow, this is a new team on the scene in Canada and internationally, and they have bright lights.
They really do, and just it's emotional seeing two young people giving so much passionate conviction to their work, and
they weren't scared. They never look in the rhythm dance or the free dance like, okay, we're here, we're a little bit nervous, we hope we skate well. They just skated open and skated free
and
natural.
Yeah, and I have to assume that is made possible, built on a foundation of so many years together. Love the stationary lift to start, knowing that the team, having just discovered that the team has been together for so many years, which is such a rarity on the junior scene. So many of the junior teams will have been paired together in recent seasons, and it's decades that are necessary to have success on the senior stage, but this team together many years, and that to me is such respect to the coaches that have allowed that to happen, because to get two
and encouraged it to happen.
Yeah, to get two young humans going through their teenage years to work with one another harmoniously enough for a decade, that's not easy.
Yeah, and you can really see that they know each other so well. They know where they're going to be. They can count and feel comfortable and confident.
And it's not a piece of music, Ted, that I knew. There Will Be Time by Mumford & Sons, and it makes me want to go and download the track because I enjoyed it so much, but I don't know if I enjoyed it so much because of their delivery, as you see. Choreographic assisted jumps, and interesting that Noah involved in that. Normally that choreographic element just seen by the women.
And you saw a picture, of course the audience hasn't seen a picture, you saw a picture of them 10 years ago.
Yeah, and hopefully that'll be put on the ISU social media channels. Just delightful. And coach here, Amma Moore, saying how special it is for her to be here with them, and because she's been involved in the journey, and obviously she involved in the journey of another certain Moore person who was with his partner for a long time too, and that worked out all right for Moore and Tessa.
Seemed to. Yeah, absolutely outstanding. Fresh and new, even though they've been together for so long. It's new on the scene here. Let's take a look at the free dance scores for Jordan and Noah. Season's best, 91.04. That's first. They are on the podium, that's for sure.
There's another picture. There's another very special picture there.
Yeah, exactly. 149.83. That puts Jordan and Noah currently into first place. 2 teams to come. They have the bronze. Will they climb even higher? We'll see in just the next little while. Brilliant work.
Well, from one team who are relatively new on the international stage to one very experienced, they won the Riga Cup, 5th in the Junior World Championships earlier in the year. Daria Grimm and Michael Savitsky.
Well, 98.37 their personal best. They just need an 88. They're in good shape going into the Nutcracker Suite.
What a shame.
Yeah, like, you've got to wonder. I mean, beautiful program, wonderfully presented, and then that mistake at the end, how much did that cost them? Because the technical scores were very close. They were in the lead at the end of the program, but...
And I think what Daria Groom and Michael Savitsky will have been hoping for was to post a free dance that pushed them close in contention to Brashinska and Beaumont, who will be last to skate. This team 5th at the Junior World Championships. The Canadians who lead were 3rd at Junior Worlds last year, so they want to be considered very much in contention for...
I don't think it's a problem for their silver medal that they're currently holding in that position. They're going to be in good shape for that, I believe. But it does pose more of a challenge to move up one spot.
Yes. But the Nutcracker, such a great choice for the team. A real piece of a suite of music that's been well edited for these ice dancers to fit the requirements of the...
We've talked about that some of the classic pieces have been remixed to be new, even though they're old.
Yes, and with 8 elements in the ice dance free dance, all of these elements will have a certain conventional amount of time that they require to be completed, and so the musical construction really needs to be considered for that to work. As you see, the stop after that straight line left was brilliant. The bracket turn that she did while he did the spread eagle was a brilliant way of trying to help get her called a clean bracket. I thought that was very subtle and smart.
Yeah.
And we mentioned Mikhail's commentary work at the Nebelhorn Trophy. These 2 very intelligent young people, both very academic as well. I don't know if we want to see what happens.
Okay, that was fine. Just hit the toe pick. That's all. She just went up under the toe pick. Quick up and down, but smiles and the kiss and cry. A little disappointment there, but they're in good shape.
And this team keen to add to their win in Riga, and then they'll have the chance to compete against other teams at the Junior Grand Prix final.
I think if they stay second here, which they will, I would think, then that'll lock it in first and the second.
And then Daria and Mikhail will work exceptionally hard, I am sure, so that when they compete next in Torino, they're right up there with so many good ice dance teams.
Oh, there is. That's going to be really a battle. Really is. 98. I use the word battle.
That's my fault,
real
sorry.
competition. 98.37 is their personal and season's best. They won't reach that here because of that fall, but should still be in good shape. They only need an 88.37 to take the lead with one team to come.
And I think there's a 4-year age gap between Daria and Mikhail. That connection, the kiss and cry, a sign that they work together harmoniously as a team. And I just think the support of one another is massive, just so vital.
Because you care so much about your partner, you want to do your best to help them, and it just bonds the team tighter.
And recognizing for young people to recognize that we are one unit. Of course, they both want the best for themselves individually, but that success dependent upon being a good team player.
Free dance score for Daria and Mikhail is 92.94. That's first in the free dance. So sigh of relief in the kiss and cry. You can see that. Total competition score 154.41 as they take over the lead with one team to come. They have the silver firmly in their grip.
They have been here for 2 weeks now, having competed at the Solidarity Cup. The final skaters in the entire competition here in Gdansk at the Baltic Cup, Nadia Brashinska and Peter Beaumont.
102.99, the personal best, and they will start the program to the red violin.
Utterly magnificent from Nadia Bashinska and Peter Beaumont from Canada.
Absolutely brilliant choreography by Carol and John Lane, Yuris Razguliev, Marc-André Savant. Just incredible. But the presentation, their delivery of that choreography also equally as brilliant.
Nadia was telling us about the story behind it from the movie The Red Violin, and the musician, the violin that he plays, and just wonderful. And I think what's so obvious and pertinent to me is that individually as skaters, their fundamental skating skills are really of the highest caliber, and they match so incredibly well too. So Peter's extends as beautifully as Nadia does.
Peter's deep edges is just remarkable how smooth he changes from one direction to the next. They are completely in sync.
And there you can see he playing the violin, those fine detail touches, real testament to the team. But here, in every extension, every back crossover, the match between the team and their technique must have been honed for seasons upon seasons. Each back crossover extension, the same. And this opening stroke's just a real showcase of good quality skating skill, pressing into the ice with every stroke there. The rocker, deep edges, back three turn changing, and each of those slalom pull change edges was musically pitched. And I think, Ted, for me, I just keep thinking they're both individually so brilliant. And Peter, he's so strong, but also so elegant as well. A real combination of strengths.
Yeah, he's a fantastic partner, individual skater, but he knows his role in the team and presents it just beautifully every single step. And they are equal quality skaters.
Yes.
And it's just really amazing. There's, in the kiss and cry, Yuris Razguliev, who's been here for 2 weeks. It's been a long haul, and 2 gold medals, perhaps, for this team in as many weeks. Let's take a look at the free dance scores for Nadia Bashinska and Peter Beaumont. 102.05. That is first.
They have their eyes, I'm sure, on even higher.
Absolutely, they want more. This was enough for now. 171.61 as they take their second gold. Back-to-back competitions.
What a way to end the competition.
And what a great gift to her father and to her grandparents who have traveled from Ukraine to watch this presentation and this performance. A proud moment indeed. Wow. Oh, I'm exhausted.
I was just going to say the exact same thing.
That's awesome.
Emotionally drained.
We invite everyone to stay as we take a look at the final standings of the junior dance result and the rest of the field here. We invite everyone to stay online to watch the medal presentation for both the men's and the dance events. But for all of us here at the ISU, we thank everyone for watching. Mark, thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to look forward to having you at least for 2 days next week from your home in Nottingham, and I'll be in Egna. For all of us here at the ISU, I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Hanruddy. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.
Baltic Cup 2022. Ceremonia medalowa tańca na lodzie kategoria junior. ISU Junior Grand Prix Baltic Cup 2022. Victory Ceremony Junior Ice Dance. Trzecie miejsce i zdobywcy brązowego medalu. Third and winner of the bronze medal. Reprezentanci Kanady. From Canada. Jordan Lewis and Noah McMillan. Drugie miejsce i zdobywcy srebrnego medalu. Second and winner of the silver medal. Reprezentanci Niemiec. From Germany. Daria Gryk and Michał Sawicki. Pierwsze miejsce i zdobywcy złotego medalu. First and winner of the gold medal. Reprezentanci Kanady. From Canada. Nadia Basińska and Peter Beaumont. Powitajmy pana Jacka Taszera, prezesa Polskiego Związku Łyżwiarstwa Figurowego, który będzie wręczał medale. Please welcome the President of Polish Figure Skating Association, Mr. Jacek Taszer. He will award the medals. Powitajmy pana Marka Kosteckiego, prezesa klubu GKS Stoczniowiec Gdańsk, który będzie wręczał kwiaty. Please welcome the President of the GKS Stoczniowiec Gdańsk, Mr. Marek Kostecki. He will award the flowers. Szanowni Państwo, prosimy o powstanie do hymnu narodowego zwycięzców. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the winners. 2022. Ceremonia medalowa w juniorze. ISU Junior Grand Prix Baltic Cup 2022. Victory Ceremony Junior Men. Trzecie miejsce i zdobywca brązowego medalu. Third and winner of the bronze medal. Reprezentant Korei from Republic of Korea. Mikio Seo. Drugie miejsce i zdobywca srebrnego medalu. Second and winner of the silver medal. Reprezentant Stanów Zjednoczonych from the United States of America. Robert Jankowski. Pierwsze miejsce i zdobywca złotego medalu. First and winner of the gold medal. Reprezentant Japonii from Japan. Takeru Amine Kataise. Powitajmy pana Jacka Teszera, prezesa Polskiego Związku Łyżwiarstwa Figurowego, który będzie wręczał medale. Please welcome the President of Polish Figure Skating Association, Mr. Jacek Taszer. He will award the medals. Powitajmy pana Marka Kosteckiego, prezesa klubu GKS Stoczniawiec Gdańsk, który będzie wręczał kwiaty. Please welcome the president of the GKS Stoczniawiec Gdańsk, Mr. Marek Kostecki. He will award the flowers. Szanowni Państwo, prosimy o powstanie do hymnu narodowego zwycięzcy. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the winner. Państwo, to są właśnie medaliści. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your medalists.
Dobiegają już końca, to drugi tydzień zmagań po Solidarika. Dziękuję bardzo wszystkim Państwu i serdecznie już teraz zapraszamy do Warszawy na Challengera Warsaw Cup, który odbędzie się od 17 listopada. Wstęp jest bezpłatny, będzie oczywiście też relacja na żywo. Jeszcze raz bardzo serdecznie zapraszam i życzę Państwu bezpiecznego powrotu do domu. Ladies and gentlemen, ICU Junior Grand Prix Baltic Cup is over. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your efforts. I wish you a safe flight home. And next step of the competition in Poland is ICU Challenger Warsaw Cup. It will be conducted in November, starting from the 17th. So we'd like to invite you to come there. Have a safe flight.